Right, okay. So this is the character that I've been rigging for the past few years. It's not really been a few years, it's actually been a few months, but it's felt like years. I might cut that out. So this is the character that I've been rigging for the past few months. And I'm going to show it off. And probably the best way to show it off is just to start messing around with the controls, and I might actually talk about a few of the things while I'm at it. So one of the main features of this character rig is the arms and legs, and yeah, they're really squashy and stretchy, and you can do pretty much anything you like with them. So to kind of demonstrate what's going on, I'm going to show the joints, and you can kind of see that the arm itself is always curved and it never sort of snaps. Now if I was just to change a few settings, stretch, there we go. This is how a normal IK would work. The arm would normally be sort of parallel with the joints. It'd be straight, and when you'd pull it, it would snap. And one of the things I wanted to address was this harsh snappiness. And one of the techniques that I've been looking at was something known as the soft IK. And that is what this attribute here does. Essentially, as I start to increase it, well, essentially there's like a radius around the IK control, which softens the transition where it would normally snap. So you can kind of see how it smoothly pulls away like that, which in combination with the squashy stretchiness works like this. You can see, yeah, no snapping. The other feature, which it was originally, was the ability to adjust the curvature of the arm. So you can see when that's like that, it always produces nice curviness. There's not really much else to say about it. It's fairly straightforward IK rig. Other than that, the legs are exactly the same in that they bend just like that. However, there was one thing, one potential problem with this character, and that is the his sash. It's his legs are actually parented to, well, effectively what would be his hips is actually at his chest. It's right up here, and one of the issues with that is if you look at what's going on here, the sash is always orientated based on the angle of the legs. So as I move that, you can see the sash changes its orientation, which is fine until you want to bend the character over. Like if he was bowing, you'll see that he can't actually bow because the sash always orientates towards the legs, which are for obvious reasons bending forward like that. So one of the extra features that I added just so that he could bow, was I wanted to make it possible to break the IK leg without actually breaking it. I be able to have the leg the other way round, like kind of like this. But you can see, obviously, because I've twisted the leg round, his ankles have gotten twisted and broken. So I came up with another attribute which you can animate, which does just this. It allows you to push the leg in on itself without breaking the wrist, and it still acts like a normal IK leg. So there, look, he's looking like a chicken now. And in fact, if I have this exactly in the middle, so that it's neither forwards or backwards, it just creates a stretchy leg which doesn't actually bend at all. So yeah, he can bow like this. So that's the legs. I'm just going to set that back to normal, and let's put the spine back. One of the other features is with the head. You'll notice if I bend his body around, his head is always pointing forwards. That's because you can choose how to orientate the head. So if at the moment it's set to root, so it's always going to be orientating wherever the root controller is. But you can set it to the center of gravity controller so that it's following that, and any movements in the spine, it would just stay where it is. Or you can parent it to the chest, and then everything can affect the orientation of the neck. So the spine, as well as obviously the neck, always controls the orientation of head. Also, many of the controllers have multiple parents. So the head is currently parented to the neck, but you can also parent it to the root so that it's completely separated from the main body. And in fact, if I look again, we've got neck, we've got root, and we've got world. And the difference between root and world is the root means it's still technically under the main controller, but the world is completely and utterly, well and truly separate. So you can just animate this completely independently of the main rig. And yeah, the head has these multiple parents. The IKs have multiple parents, so like the hand has the center of gravity controller. You can parent it to the head, chest, hips, root and world. The pole vectors, the same thing. The feet, you can parent it to the center of gravity, the root and the world, and same for the pole vectors. Even the center of gravity controller itself can be parented to the root or to the world, so that it's completely separate from the main controller. Most of the time you don't actually need to animate these, you probably just set them up at the beginning, and then you'll just sort of, as if you like, calibrating the rig, and then you'll just start animating after that. Yeah, that's pretty much everything there is to know about the rig. There's a few other little details, like you might notice that some of the attributes are on top and some of the attributes are sort of underneath this shapes section in the channel box. So one of the things that I have done is I've actually put some of the animatable attributes under multiple controllers. So if you look at the head, we've got the head parent attribute and the orientation attribute, but those exact same attributes exist under the neck as well, and they're not copies, they are exactly the same controller. It's just they're accessible via two different controllers, just for convenience really. And in fact the root controller has access to a lot of the different settings, like choosing like the different parents for like the different IKs for the hands, the feet, the neck, the body, the sash as well. Even the sash you can separate from the main rig as well and animate independently. So yeah, that's the character in a nutshell. So probably the last thing to do is to try and reset the character and maybe set some keyframes so I can show you the performance of it. And in fact, I'm probably going to open up a new scene to get it back to how it was. Okay, so this isn't going to be the best quality animation, but it's just to demonstrate the how the rig works when it's animating. So I've set a keyframe on frame 1. I'm going to set another keyframe on 10, another one on 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm just going to turn auto key on. So one of the things you'll notice is that while you're posing him, the performance seems a tad laggy, but actually in playback it will speed up quite a bit. So let's just have him shooting off the ground and maybe looking up. Like this. And a little bit more. Don't know what I'm doing really. And let's come back down. And because I feel like it, I'm going to have the arms stay up there for a bit. Just because we can. And then let's play. And it looks absolutely terrible because I only spent 2 seconds animating it. But we've got a pretty good frame rate. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. In fact, I've just remembered he does have a face as well. So very quickly. You can animate the face with this rather crude face rig. It has controllers so that you can actually move the entire face around. So if I just move this over to here, you can see I can actually slide his mouth all the way around, and in fact I can even do the same with the eyes. I can move them all over the place, and then you can have them blink, scale them, scale the mouth, okay, yeah, and that is pretty much it. So there we go.